What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and this is another episode of Table Talks.
Episode 35 today. And the way we do these is we take our pulling from our previous pulling session, and then we do a little bit of podcast over top of it.
Yeah, talk about whatever seems to be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, and
Right
now there's a lot of matches that are being planned for May. Well, actually, just the one match in May between Devin and Michael, and then there's a bunch of matches in June that are going to be in Istanbul.
Yeah.
And we just want to talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, because there's something interesting is that it's all basically like East versus West.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like
finally,
Americans.
We're going to get to compare the two.
Yeah, and even though it's not the match that we all wanted to see, Levon versus Michael, like the top guy versus the top guy, I think it gives such a good example of... or it's going to give us such a good kind of example of where everybody sits.
We're going to be able to make some kind of assumptions based on it, like how does Mas do against Hermes? How did Hermes do against Vitali? And how did Vitali do against Levon? Like things like that. There's obviously a bunch of other matches that we can use to compare.
Yeah. But basically, we have a much better idea of where the Europeans sit amongst each other. And we have a really good idea, obviously, where all the North Americans sit amongst each other. So getting a bunch of matches between top-end guys from both sides is going to allow us to make better assumptions about other matches.
And it's really just this Levon match that we really want to know. Because obviously that match needs to happen. Still needs to happen. Levon wants it to happen. And Michael wants it to happen.
Yeah. And even just the top three guys there, like I'd say if you're looking at like Levon, Vitali, and
Trubin, maybe?
Trubin, but no, who's the other guy that I'm thinking of? Gennady, right?
Gennady, yeah.
So like those three guys, and then if you think about the top three guys in North America, like Chafee, I think Cataret's got to be in there somewhere. The match I'd love to see is Cataret and Vitali.
Yeah.
That is a match I would love to see because I think that's just such a great like
style versus style.
Yeah. And would love to see that. But then, Michael and Devin, obviously, where do they match up? Chafee, Matt Mask, even now with Gasparini, and Hermes is proven to be way up there on his end of things with how, even though it was practice pulling, we know he's the practice champion, but
of course
it was still really impressive what he was doing with Vitali, and Vitali is huge right now, getting massive.
Yep. Vitali's like 130, 135.
I think he's on some sort of Russian pancake diet. I don't know what kind of pancakes they make in Russia, but he's on.
I don't know. I think they inject them.
That's possible. But anyway, we're getting on to the matches that are happening that we are going to get to. Let's just go down the list, and then we're going to talk about three specifically.
Yeah.
Right?
So the main event is obviously, for this Istanbul lineup, is the Hermes, Gasparini, and Matt Mask match. Yeah. It's going to be huge.
The undercard ones.
The undercards are sick as well. They're all top names.
Corey West versus, what's this guy's name?
Arif Ertem.
So he's, he got kind of postered. He got used as a poster child by that beast.
Morozov, the Russian beast. He's only like 23.
Yeah, if anybody remembers, it was that video I think Devin posted it, right?
Yeah, he reviewed it.
Yeah, reviewed it. He gets his shoulder set and then kind of like puts it in and out a couple times. Like does a little bit of a dance move because he's got such good control.
But he is a WAF world champion.
Yeah, so he was the guy that Levon beat to become WAF world champion, and he gave him a good match.
It was a good match, yeah.
For sure. So he's definitely strong. He's a big guy. So him and Corey West is an undercard. That'll be interesting. And then Herman Stevens is pulling, what's this guy's name?
See, I don't know this guy either.
Yeah.
F.A. Komek.
Yeah, so these are the guys we don't really know, so we're not going to talk too much about those matches. That him and then Dallas Langston has a match against somebody else who's...
Zurab Tabverde. Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're better with names than I am, and there's no way I'm going to even try to.
No.
But anyway, the last one.
Tony Kotowski has a match.
Yeah, so those are all like we have a good idea of where those guys sit in North America, and although we don't know these European guys, we'll see how we fare because obviously Ingen and the Europeans think that these are good matches. So we'll see where they line up.
And obviously there's another match, Todd Hutchings versus Zoloev.
Yeah, so this is a big match. This will be the first one. Let's talk about this one a little bit.
Well, they had a match before.
I didn't watch it. Have you watched it? It looks old though. If I did see
it is old.
Yeah,
I can't. I'm gonna guess like 2012, but could be wrong.
So, do we have any idea where Zoloev is right now? Have you seen anything of what his most recent things are?
No, I haven't seen him recently, but I just know from that match, Todd Hutchings did beat him pretty handedly.
Yeah.
and he's a hooker.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, that's why. I mean, to me, I see Todd just kind of running through the. I don't see stylistically how.
Like no one beats Todd in the hook.
No one, not at his size.
No,
it just doesn't happen. Maybe it will, but Todd's like he's gone up in weight and taken guys like Jerry and Matt Mask with his side pressure and his hook.
Yep.
So to now, it's kind of like overloading with weight and then going down to, you know, like there's
imagine
no way.
If Devin came back to 225.
Yeah, like the force production, even if Todd Hutchings has to cut weight or whatever, I don't know what they're agreeing to, but even if he has to lose weight again, because his body's used to that kind of force output, and because the sport is so based on like tendon,
right? Those aren't going to get strength.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, exactly. Like maybe because he dries out a little bit, like if he doesn't rehydrate, maybe he gets a little bit more elbow pain, but like. It's going to be so. It's not going to reduce the strength.
No,
there's nothing like. He's so strong. It's just ridiculous how strong he is for his size, and his style. Like you said, like if Zoloev tries to top roll him maybe or get over his hand, which is what was happening with the heavyweights, right? With the heavyweights, they were like bigger and longer than him, so he was getting out angled, and then
but only in like really long dragging top rolls, like
exactly.
that Devin can do.
Exactly. And Zolev's not
the long guy. They're like the same size.
Exactly. So I just don't see it being a match, but maybe Zoloev has got some crazy thing to do. But the other thing is that because Todd, and this just starts off the conversation of like the East versus West, because Todd went up to the heavyweights, he's learned how to top roll. Like he's changed his style.
Yep, he's much more versatile puller,
I think, than what I've seen from Zoloev, at least from the highlights and the matches that I have seen. He does basically a 99.9% hook puller.
Yeah,
you know
that's the thing with the Europeans is they tend to be very focused on strength output and gym lifts more so than table practice.
Yeah.
So they're not as technically versed as the North American pullers who spend much more time on the table.
Yeah.
There's so much more technical. They know all the little intricate positions and how to move on the table.
And there's a difference in what, like you said, like they're looking for force output. So it comes back to that. If anybody's listening heard the story of Devin and Taurus and the whole same thing only stronger, right?
Same thing only harder.
Same thing only harder, right? Exactly. And though that is a great method at times, and there are times where that is exactly what you're supposed to do, one of the beautiful things about arm wrestling is the idea that you try to work around people's pressure and you try to find the other door. The way Devin went, okay, that's not the door I'm supposed to go through, let's go find the door that I can just get through. And there is always that lane against somebody, no matter how good they are, how much they're protecting, you know, a certain area, they're always going to be leaving something open. So if you're crafty enough to find those holes, you know, you don't always have to overpower them through a specific lane where, like you said, I feel like the European pullers do. They tend to pull very much that way where they want to go a certain way. So they just go as hard as they can that way, as opposed to, you know, trying to find
exactly, and that's why they're so vulnerable to a King's move, because that same thing only harder mentality is horrible for the King's move, because you're gonna get stuck.
And especially if you're a conventional hook or top roll puller, which is pretty much what they are. Like there's not a lot of pressing, and there's not a lot of open top rolling, and there's posting top roll still not great against a King's move. Like you have to work around a King's move if you try to just go through it. You know, which is why, again, we're going to probably come back to the Levon and Michael match like periodically throughout this whole thing. But that's a huge reason why I don't think they want that match to happen, is because Levon, as much as he is a very good arm wrestler, I feel like he is a conventional top roller through and through. And I don't know how much he can press. I'm sure he's a big guy. I'm sure he has a press that's intimidating and connected, but is it better than Jerry's? Probably not.
Probably
so
not.
Is it going to be able to press through Mike? Like, regardless of how much weight's behind it, it's still got to connect to your hand.
And how connected is it if we never see him do it?
And maybe, like Devin's right, maybe that's because he's never had to. Like, he's just so strong.
I think he does, though. How often does he get stuck over rotated in his top roll?
Until he was superhuman. Until he was, like, took himself... if anybody watches, we've got some guys making Derek comments and stuff. If you've seen Leo for longevity, you hear him use the term leaving humanity behind. Right? So Levon has definitely left humanity behind at one point. And at that point, he's too strong as just a conventional puller to have to pull anywhere else. But the point is still true. He never does. Like when Gennady beats him, he doesn't look for a different lane. And when he was coming up and he was still somewhat human, like becoming a WAF champion, he still pulled one way. Like he never goes out for a top roll and then jumps up to a press or dives into a hook and then rolls you out in a top roll. Like he does his move, he does his setup. He wants his knuckle high and he's going to drag you back and post over your hand and roll and break over your hand with his monstrous mitt that he has.
Yeah. So if these North Americans are in any way close in strength to these Europeans, I think it's going to be a whitewash just because of the technical level that the North Americans have. The diversity they have over these Europeans. If something doesn't work, they're going to try something else. They're going to try a different angle.
And not only that, they're going to go into it knowing, okay, this guy likes to do that, so I should do this. You know? Or like, I think on the Todd, we're still on the Todd and Zoloev, so just to finish that off, I think in that scenario, Todd's just going to go into a hook with him and pull him across the table. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Zolev's got something else going on, but you know, not really. That's what we think. So the next match is RVJ and Sasho, right?
Yeah, Sasho. I don't know when this match is happening. I don't think they've announced a date, and it wasn't in this undercard that they listed for the Armies and Mask match. So I'm not sure, but
this isn't all the same day. These are all just happening.
Those matches that we talked about so far are on the same day, or they're trying to confirm them. But the RVG match is not listed in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but it is one of the matches that we know is coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
So either way, that was the next match that we want to talk about, whenever that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So this one is interesting because stylistically, we know RVJ to be more of like a top roller.
Yeah, a high hooker, posting top roller,
exactly,
strong hands.
So susceptible to the down pressure type of shoulder committed hook puller that Sasho is, right? But he's so strong there. You wonder, is it going to matter? Is it going to matter?
RVJ seems like a much bigger human than Sasho. Like Sasho's like really short. He's obviously using a riser. We talked about that before.
Yeah. So is RVJ. He's obviously made some points about that. But no, he's thick, Sasho, and he's got a big upper body, but he is stubby. So he's got that short arm. He's going to be hard to open up. So I know that the one thing I did hear RVJ say about the match was that he plans to beat him in a hook. Like he wants to take him in, go into a hook with him, and have his hook be too much for Sasho's hook and just beat him in a hook.
That's
risky. That's a statement, and that's risky. And I know RVJ's proven recently with all the arm PR
list. He's
definitely got a bicep to rely on, and he may be an amazing hook puller, and he just relies on his hand because it's the best way to beat the guys that he goes against.
But I've seen him struggle in a hook against Craig Toulier.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting other names, but that's where he struggles, right? So
exactly. Which is part of why I think he said that was part of why he wants to go that way. Prove it, right? So it's possible that that's where he's going to go, but the point is he's got options.
He does have options.
He could go into a hook with him and maybe roll. I don't know if he can roll out of it once he's in, but the point is that
he has options and Sasho doesn't.
Yeah, Sasho's not top rolling him.
No.
He's not. We've gone over this. He's going one way and one way only. It's just a matter of whether he's hooking you or pressing you, pretty much. Right?
Yeah.
But they're so similar. It's basically the same thing, right? So
yeah. And if RVJ wants to meet him in a hook, then we're gonna find out immediately whether he's got enough power to beat him there.
Yeah, they're gonna be going right there.
Yeah, but if not, he definitely does have more options.
Right.
And I think he should top roll him, but if it doesn't work, he'll obviously try something else.
Yeah. And then the final match is the rematch between Mask and Gasparini, and this is another example of top end guys. And the first time they showed up, it was in Mask's league.
Yeah.
So maybe Gasparini was a little unfamiliar of how it was going to go.
Well, he thinks was unfamiliar.
That's obviously his excuse.
It's the story he's sticking to. Yeah,
exactly. But it was obviously a slaughtering by Matt Mask on the first round, which Mask didn't really pull, and it was part of the strategy of how the WAL goes. So now I'm pretty sure the rules are going to be more WAF as far as
it's going to be PAL rules.
Yeah.
Armies won't pull on any other set of rules because PAL is the most strict, fair set of rules.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, I don't know if it's going to matter too much because that's kind of how Mask like grew up. Pulling,
Mask was always pulled like that.
Yeah. So, and when we talked to him about it, actually, like when he was here, we talked to him about the rules and the setups and everything, and he thinks that WAL is actually the fairest setup because with the PAL, like it can become so fussy and so political with the ref, you know, that you don't. It's very.
There's so much cheating you can do in the grip where you get your own grip. When it's just close your thumbs, close your hands.
Yeah.
There's nothing really that can go on.
And when the ref closes your thumb and your hand, and then the other person, like when they actually close it for you, there's because of how long it takes for that whole thing to kind of happen. If you get your hand closed first or second, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So I think closing your thumbs and hands together and then the go, it's probably the fairest.
But anyway, if
setup.
If Mask crushes Hermes here, then he's going to have
got
zero
nothing. Yeah, he's
excuses.
got nothing to lie on. And, you know, like Mask said, he already got the first read of what it is that Hermes wants. He knows what Hermes is going for.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of rise and supination.
Yeah,
and then he's going to go for his post and top roll.
Exactly. And
but all he needs is just that little bit.
It is, yeah. Mask made the point that he is the real deal. Like if he gets what he wants, he is strong as shit. But if you can keep him away from it, then he has a hard time pulling. And because Mask knows what that is, and because Mask is so explosive, I mean, Hermes is explosive too. But obviously, we want to see a North American sweep, so we're on Mask's side on this one.
Although Hermes is looking really good lately,
yeah,
and he's put on a lot of mass since that last match.
For sure, definitely. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I expect it to be more of a fight this time.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I hope we get some stops. Like I hope. Yeah. I don't see the way they both pull. It's very likely that it's going to be like whoever gets their setup and then it's flash.
Yeah.
But it'd be awesome if we could see a stop and see a bit of a battle. But still, it could go whatever. I think they're going to pull best of 5.
Yeah.
Right. So it could still go 3-2 with like flashes going back and forth and just basically who gets their setup. So, but the bottom line is it's really going to give us a lot of information.
Yeah.
Having so many East versus West matches, even though it's not the big one that we all wanted or the biggest ones that we've wanted, but we do get the big match, Devin versus Todd.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be epic. We should just spend the whole next table talks talking about that one because that match you could get into so much detail about.
Yeah, very intricate match.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's end it there, and then maybe we'll talk about that match in the next one.
Yeah, so if you like the video, please like the video. Leave some comments down below. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. Glad that you made it this far.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button.
And if you have subscribed, hit that bell button. And monkeys out.
Peace.